Today we are marching in the Somerville Stands Together contingent, a community labor coalition supported by the Somerville Municipal Employees, the Painters Union, the Carpenters Union, the Building Trades, the Teamsters. Everybody union in Somerville is part of our coalition. We also have environmental groups, racial justice groups, and we have community groups. I think I got everybody there. I got some fish in the air! We're fired up! Yeah! Can't take no more! We're fired up! 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 Can't take no more! What do we want? Contract! Contract! Money! Now!
Okay, so what do you guys hope to accomplish here today?
Hopefully to bring awareness to the public, to make them more aware of what's going on, how we're being treated, how much underpaid we are compared to other cities and towns in our surrounding areas. We've taken this hit way too long. We're tired of it, and something needs to change, something needs to give. We hope that just being here today will open up some ears, and that the right people will hear what we have to say and the things that we need.
Hi, my name is Michelle Bola. I'm the Chief Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Somerville. I've been in the union many years. I'm not telling you how many, but a long time. I've dealt with many mayors and gone through many contracts. The reason we're here tonight is to do trick-or-treating for all the kiddies in Somerville. And we're here with the SMEA, did I say that wrong? I'm sorry. And we're here to take notice, to try to get a good contract with our mayor and to make things work for the city. We, the union, are the union that keep the city running. We do a lot of work for the city, and we are here to help, not hurt, help everybody within our union, non-union. We are here for everybody. That's it. Is that what
Yes, so my name is Medway Etius. I work for the Highway Department in the city of Somerville. Then I've been working there for almost like 8 years so far. Then so I work for the workout crew. So we work hard, we do the best we can to take care of the city. But the main problem so I have, and I think the city could do better to taking care of the employee. So when we compare the other city, how much they make, so we don't make nothing here in the city. So I hope the government, the mayor, they understand the situation of us and they listen their voice and to taking care of us. So we need more than what we get. So I hope so we get something better.
Thank you.
Anthony DeVito with the sewer department, Unit A foreman, 25 years with the city. A lot of the sewer department work has been outsourced, catch basins, all that. The morale down there isn't that well. Just waiting for a contract.
Hi, my name is Bridget Sansucci. I work in traffic and parking. I have been with traffic and parking since February of this year, so I'm fairly new. My title is principal clerk. I enjoy my job. The best part about it are the folks I work with. The supervisors, the director, my colleagues, the clerks. That's what make the job great. Some of the things that I've noticed and asked many questions about is the union, our contract. Just wanted to get a good sense of it. This is my first position where I am in a union. And for an office that's as busy as we are, I mean, it's crazy. You can't take a breath. You can't sit down. Between November all the way to the following year, July, August, it is nonstop. People are out the door waiting, and the clerks work very hard. There's a lot of pieces to this job, a lot of things to remember. Access to the RMV, we're checking records, we're checking tickets, we're checking streets to make sure that all the constituents are taken care of. And for such a high-stress job, to really compare ourselves to other municipalities and to see what we're getting paid, it's very disheartening. And it's one thing I'd like to see fixed. I don't agree with this 1 or 2% raise. I think we need to be on par, not only with other cities who are making more money, but for the type of job. I would like people that are making these decisions to come to our office and see what we do on a daily basis to really understand why, we get frustrated. But other than that, the staff is great. Everyone we work with is great. I wouldn't want to move someplace else in the city because I love who I work with and I love the job. I just wish it would be more of an incentive to want to stay, and I think that will help our turnover because, everywhere else is paying more, and so we're not keeping staff. That's really my biggest thing. It's more, positive criticism. I'm not here to complain. I would like to stay where I am and just be on par with everybody else.
Yes, my name is Jacques Preval. I work for the city from 2004, 20 years ago. I like everybody appreciates my job. Everybody at the city appreciates my job. I'm not working by myself. I work for all the parks department. They work so hard, but at the same time, work hard. They life so difficult for each employee. They life very difficult for each employee. But at the same time, we try to make everybody live in the Somerville city be happy about the job we make.
Hi, good evening. My name's Steve Ross. I work for the city of Somerville for coming up on 18 full years. Right now I'm working with, I'm in the weights and measurements department. I am the city sealer. What we do is we go out and we check all the scales in the oil trucks and the gas stations, laundromats, anything that has a scale and that needs to be measured. We go out and we verify that everything is working properly or within the tolerance that they're allowed by the state. We are in the middle of a contract negotiation with the city right now. We're having a little bit of a hard time. I think a lot of the problems that we have are due to the prior administration. The prior administration really beat this union up pretty well. And we were out of contract for 7 years. And we finally did a contract where we got 4 zeros and really put us behind the 8 ball with all the other local cities and towns that are around us. You can only imagine, what that may do for morale, but what it does is you have a lot of people that are leaving to go to other cities and towns that are getting paid better than us, quite a bit in some cases, or going to the utilities where they're getting really a lot more money, and who can blame them? Well, we get a lot of guys that are experienced that are coming in. We're not getting a lot of new guys because they're moving on. And the city has to do a lot of outsourcing of a lot of the jobs that we used to do. So whatever support you can give the union, we certainly would appreciate it. We are the people that are out there in the community. We are part of the community. What we do in the schools with the nurses and the parks and the roads and the plowing, the list goes on and on. We are the people that are behind the scenes that no one really sees, and quite frankly, we really don't get treated quite as good as some of the other unions that are around here, not to take that away from anyone, but we are probably at the bottom when it comes to trying to get a contract. For whatever reason, the prior administration really somehow took it personally against us.
Get up, get down, Somerville is a union town. Get up, get down,
Somerville is a union town. Get up, Get down! Somerville is a union town!
Welcome, everyone. We're going to call this meeting of the Somerville City Council to order. In accordance with Chapter 107 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting of the City Council may be conducted via remote participation, and please note that video and audio of this meeting is being recorded and may be shown live on local access government channels and on the City of Somerville website, and will be available for future review. Will the clerk please call the roll?
This is roll call. Councillor McLaughlin.
Here.
Councillor Davis.
Here.
Councillor Scott.
Present.
Councillor Strezzo. Present. Councillor Klingon.
Present.
Councillor Wilson.
Present.
Councillor Burnley.
Present.
Councillor Gomez-Molcad. Present. Councillor Kelly.
Present.
Councillor Pineda-Neufeld.
Present.
Councillor Ewan-Campen.
Here.
With all councillors present, we have a quorum.
Full house. Thank you, Clerk. Pursuant to Rule 32, let it be known that this City Council salutes the flag of the United States of America, and let us recall our oath to uphold the Constitution and the laws of the Commonwealth to the best of our abilities and understanding. Next item, please.
And that will take us to the first item that we're going to take out of order, which is item 4.4, a resolution by councillors Gomez-Molcad, Klingon, Pineda-Neufeld, Ewan-Campen, Burnley, Davis, Strezzo, and Scott, that the administration provide an update on the compensation study, including a definite delivery timeline at the November 9th, 2023 meeting of this City Council.
Councillor Gomez-Molcad.
I want to make 2 points, and first I want to explain why this order is here. And I want the community to hear carefully, because then the next thing I want to know is talk about the importance of our municipal workers. Because my mother always said, take care of those who take care of you. And that's exactly what our municipal workers do. So we have to understand our municipal workers have not seen since 2021 an adjustment. They had one of 2% back then with a 1% step raise. Since then, we've seen increased inflation and the cost of living rates exceeding 5% between 21 and 2023. So it's been since July 21st, they've waited. As we wait, we have increased vacancies. We keep on hearing through all our departments, we can't fill these jobs. And we are outsourcing, costing the city 1.5 to 2 times the wage rate of union jobs. And I want to talk a little bit now about the importance of having city staff and the importance they have. Without our city's municipal workers, we don't have the effective operation and maintenance of our city. When you outsource, workers change all the time. They don't know your city. And we're doing a lot of changes in the city. We're putting new bike lanes. We have to change posts. We always have all sorts of events. Our roads change. We wouldn't have someone at the clerk's office to take our dog's license permit. So many things happen in the city day to day. They take care of our parks. They're here late at night, taking care of our trash. Someone closes down this building every day and makes sure the lights are on for us. And when you outsource, and I've experienced this, and this is why this is extremely dear to me, the person taking care of the city doesn't take it with the heart and soul of those who truly work for the city and know it inside and out. And it seems insane to me, as we're embarking in a lot of new capital projects, for example, and in all new services, and we do so much, that we don't have people who know our city, who know it well. These are also workers who often work 24/7. We can't have people coming all the way to New Hampshire to respond to the needs of the city. We need people who live locally, and the cost of living is rising here. So with that being said, our municipal workers are indispensable. Our city will not succeed without them. And I think it is time, and they've waited 7 months, in the middle of negotiations, and Mr. Halloran will explain it better than I will. They were told we had a compensation study, and 7 months have elapsed. And I understand things take time, but our workers it's sending a poor message to our workers who do so much for us. to wait that time, and I think we need to focus and work with our workers to get, proper raises and compensation, because our city will collapse. Imagine if tomorrow you couldn't go to the clerk's office, you couldn't go to the library, the trash wasn't picked up on the parks, the lights weren't changed on our streets. Think about, or we're having an event and there's no one to serve there. Imagine what would happen. So I would like to sponsor Mr. Halloran.
Thank you.
Mr. Halloran.
Happy Halloween. Last time I was here was Valentine's Day. Is that okay?
Yeah.
That way you'll be able to hear me better. Thank you. So what I want to do is I want to kind of lay this out for everybody on what's going on and who I am. And there may be people who don't know who I am, and I apologize if I haven't been up here enough. But my name is Ed Halloran, and I've been working for the city for 30 years. I've been the president of this union for 16 years. And the Somerville Municipal Employees Association means so much to me as a person. You just keep going on, and they work incredibly hard. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to focus on my comments on the status of the contract negotiations, and specifically about the crisis relating to compensation and the city's delay in completing a wage study that will identify market inequities in the wage rates paid by the city. As you know, the SMEA is comprised of 220 employees. It's about 31 divisions around the city. And we're a vital part of the system that keeps the city open for business, as you just stated. If you use city services, you will see us in the library when you check out the books or attend programs. Someone said to me, if you want to go to the library, it doesn't cost you a penny. You don't need any money to show up at the library. You will see us at traffic and parking when you get a permit or pay a ticket. City Hall when you need a business, a marriage license, a business license. We inspect your buildings. We clean and maintain your parks. We fill your potholes, and there's a lot of them out there. And your roads, your sidewalks. So we cement. We flush your hydrants. We plow your snow. And nobody can forget Snowmageddon of 2015 when we worked around the clock here. And we did a magnificent job. It was just incredible, the work that these people put out. And it's really a test of, what you are and who you really are about and how much you care about the city. We also have school nurses. I don't know, people may not know that. And they have a contract, and we're so happy about that for them. And they deserve it. And it was a great negotiation with the Somerville School Department. And police, we have people in police and fire. We have some clericals over there. And we're also very proud to announce that we hope by November 1st at the Division of Labor that we'll have the 311 constituent services as well. Unfortunately, we didn't want to have to go that far to do that. We would have just preferred to have an agreement to do it, but that's okay. We're here now. All these things are vital, and they are vital, and they barely capture the third of the departments that the city staffs. So I'm not going to go on about that any longer. The SMEA bargaining agreements with the city expired on June 30th, 2022, 16 months ago. The parties began negotiations for a new contract for the largest unit, which is Unit B, which you're seeing behind me right here, in the summer of 2022. But negotiations came to a halt 6 months ago. And why? Because the city was unable to make a proposal on wages that would be informed by knowledge of the market rates. 7 months and counting, and that wage study has still not been completed. We're waiting. Some of the employees are very upset. They're frustrated and starting to leave the city more and more. We lost one today in the grounds division. That's it. They leave. It's amazing. I've never seen anything quite like it in 30 years. So I want to give you an idea, just a couple quick samples, okay? A special heavy equipment operator in the city of Somerville. They are really good at what they do with their craft. They have a CDL license, and they also operate the front-end loaders and the backhoes that you see. So we did a little pay comparison through our attorneys that we had. One of the most prevalent positions in the city, these workers are paid about 25% less than the DPW workers of Cambridge. Right next door, And the top step here is 54,205. And the top step in Cambridge is 68,229. Okay, we want to be Cambridge. Well, we're not even close to being Cambridge. I say that jokingly because people always talk about that. The other is the librarians. These are the two samples that we brought in because these are the ones that we have gotten. A librarian 2 is a position that requires a master's degree, which is in library science MLS. In Somerville, they're paid about 1/3 less than the librarians of similar title in Arlington, Belmont, Brookline, and Waltham. The highest step here is $54,875. And the highest step in those communities, probably about $20,000 higher at $73,075. Waltham is one of them, okay? And we've lost some tremendous librarians, by the way. It's really painful to see this. So I often say things about positions that are like poverty positions, like really low-paid jobs. And I'm going to tell you, a parking control officer makes $46,977. Senior clerk over traffic and parking, they deal with a lot over there, I can tell you now, $44,473. Principal clerk, traffic and parking around the city, $48,570. A librarian one, $52,468. Heavy motor equipment operator, which is a CDL driver that drives these 10 wheels, these dump trucks, they make $46,977 a year, and an HBO maintenance mechanic, $910 a week, $47,000 a year. A public works laborer, so now if we're talking about hiring laborers, because I know people think that's the starting, we're going to start someplace, right? Let's have some laborers in here. Sadly, it's $44,479, okay? We just talked about the SHMEO, $49,000 a year to start. A Tech 2 circulation librarian, $47,000. A master electrician, right? Somebody told me they're making $81,000 somewhere else in another municipality. I can't say that's positively true, but $11.50 for a master plumber and a master electrician just doesn't cut it here. Nobody wants these jobs. I just talked to Ellen. Thank you. I just had a conversation with Ellen Collins, deputy director, and I told her, I said, our goal is to make your job easier. That's our goal, because that's what we want. We want to hire people. A carpenter, $53,000, which is $10.30 a week. So what happens is the jobs come to me, the president of the union, I initial them, so we can send them out to post. As of October 23rd, 90 jobs have come to the union. 90. That's a lot of positions to come to us. And we cross-reference them. We make sure that they're good and what we need. So at the DPW, the average worker must work approximately 10 extra weeks per year in order to earn what higher paid municipal workers earn in just 52 weeks. So over the past 4 years, we've seen many of our co-workers leave the city for better paying jobs, particularly in the utility sector over there as well. Others hold additional part-time jobs, and someone I talked to downstairs was working at a supermarket 25 hours a week, making the same money she's making right over here. So what I'm saying basically is that if these people can get their overtime, they're going to get the overtime, and they're going to take whatever they can get, and then they're going to work another 10 to 12 weeks more than someone's working over in Cambridge. So there are over 40 vacant positions in the city right now, 40. That's because the rates are so low in the city can't recruit, they can't retain, and as people leave for jobs, they're not getting those fair, equitable wages. So 14 vacant sewer positions. And you knew I was going to get to this, right? So let's talk about that, please. The city has said it aspires to have a water and sewer department that would have a staff of employees that could service the city. But because wages are so low, those workers are long gone. The department has no staff, except for maybe, I think, the Unit A person and someone who's a meter reader. And I think we've got maybe one catch basin cleaner and one Unit A person, and that's it. And for the past 2 years, the city has open postings for 14 positions that they couldn't fill, and we all know that what happened up here on June 22nd, right? So because of that, the majority I'm sorry to say, the majority of you voted to outsource all their positions that was related. Granted, they were vacant, we understand that. But they're outsourced, and it's very hurtful when we see that, and then we see other things. So adding insult to injury, the city frequently contracts union work to private companies with prevailing wage premium required by state law, which is at least twice as much as they pay our SMEA workers, and that's a lot of money. For instance, on June 22nd, at this city council budget cut night, in which the city admits that they must outsource, or it was at least, there were people up here who were saying that they couldn't fill the jobs, admittingly, they wanted it outsourced, right? And they wanted to move some money around. Sewer work related to rate increases because SME pay is so low and difficult to fill. I think we had a couple supervisors that were talking about that. I apologize for not being here for that. I should have been here for that. Okay? You have my apologies. As City Councilor Scott noted during the session, he stated that the following pertaining to the outsourcing, besides cheating SMEA workers, the failure to negotiate fair wages passes the cost on to the taxpayers. The 2009 financial crisis led to Mayor Curtatone to slash the budget every year for 4 years, and we took some serious layoffs in those 4 years here. Members during that, for our members during that time, including the library, and I had a conversation about that. So that led to nearly 7 years without a contract for the SMEA. Without a contract, no pay raise, zero, nothing, because of this financial crisis. When the union was finally able to get a contract, many of our members ended up losing 4 of those years. Those were zeros, and the mayor refused to give us those zeros while other communities were getting something, whether it be 1 or whether it be 2%, at least a minimal wage, and that is what put us so far behind. I'm almost done. All right? The wage study delay represents the latest insult in a long history of anti-union actions by the city toward its unionized employees. Although its current administration talks progressive policies and values, its actions reflect the legacy of the systemic anti-union attitude that was enthusiastically cultivated by the previous administration for nearly 20 years. At the DPW, there are 2 large banners that hang every day that you can see them, okay? Somerville leads the way for you to live, work, and play. That's very difficult for us to look at every day. On behalf of the SMEA workers, I strongly urge the mayor and her administration to release the pay study so we can move forward with the contract negotiations. Let's work together to bring the same quality of life to union workers and as we see our counterparts in other municipalities. In closing, I respectfully ask that each and every city councilor and citizens that are watching and listening tonight to the city of Somerville become active, not just about the causes that help the environment, important issues of social justice, climate change, or other important causes, but also become active about the cause that's right in front of you tonight, right now. A workforce that you employ that is subject to a pay injustice and equity that needs to be resolved immediately. I want to thank you for this time, for awarding me this time on behalf of the SMEA workers. They're one of the greatest workforces and people that I've worked with in the city. I can tell you that right now. And they have a struggle, and I really appreciate your patience and listening to me. And we really want to make Somerville a union town. We truly want that, and we want you guys to lead the way. And we thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Halloran. Are there other members that wanted to speak tonight?
Yeah, I would like to sponsor Meg Ragland, representing the library.
Please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Meg Ragland. I work at the Central Library as the head of the Technical Services Department, and next month will start my 7th year. Thank you. My 7th year of service with the city. I'm both a union rep and the collective bargaining representative for the library, and I've lived in Ward 3 on Prospect Hill for most of the last 23 years. So, hello. Thank you to the City Council for having us speak tonight. I just want to tell you about an ongoing equipment repair request from my department that relates to the city's inability to fill vacant union positions due to the non-competitive union pay we offer in Somerville, and to illustrate why we need the city to move forward with its wage study. When I started in my present position at the library about 2.5 years ago, it has offices in the central library basement, and I was confronted with a broken dehumidifier that had apparently been out of service for some time, judging by the state of the walls in the surrounding area, the windowsill, it's all just deteriorating, peeling wall. And the humidity in the basement gets very, very high in the summer and fall months, 80% or higher, and we're a paper-based environment. Our printers emit steam when they print, the paper jams, stickers don't stick, paper curls, mold grows, and it's a problem. So library administration put in a 311 to have this dehumidifier repaired in August 11th, 2021. The work order was closed 9 months later on May 6, 2022 with no detectable repairs, no explanation offered. My staff and I worked through another humid summer in 2022 and mold started to grow. So, since I couldn't seem to get any traction with 311 or repeated complaints, and because the uncontrolled humidity was becoming a health and safety issue at this point, I raised the issue in contract negotiations and formulated a contract proposal to make this repair along with numerous other safety-related repairs or renovations needed at the library. And some of you may have walked through and seen it. It's not pretty. I also requested that the city form a joint SMEA City Safety Committee for the purpose of enhancing safe working conditions as specified in our present contract. It was specified in 2010. It met for the first time in April of 2023. In September, I attended a safety committee meeting with the human resources staff who are running it. In conversation with them about the status of the dehumidifier situation, I learned that part of the reason it's not moving forward is because there are no plumbers on staff in the city now to handle such a work order because all those positions are vacant. The HR staffer who handles job posting inquiries told me that when he responds to inquiries about plumber job postings, callers lose interest when they learn how low the pay is. I then asked why the city hadn't contracted the job, and I jokingly said, I know a plumber, thinking of the guy we use at home, and they said, oh, does he have a journeyman's license? That was an unexpected answer. I was dismayed, but not surprised to hear that we have 0 plumbers on staff due to non-competitive wages, but ready to accept the reality that the work might have to be contracted out. I hope that using contractors isn't going to be a long-term solution. This is union work that should be performed by SMEA workers. To echo what Ed said, I urge the mayor and her administration to release the pay study so we can move forward with contract negotiations, bring our pay to a competitive level, and hire an adequate workforce to perform the many needed repairs and renovations in Somerville. Thank you.
Thank you. Please. Welcome.
Hi, good evening. My name is Stephanie Estrella. I am an SMEA secretary. I have been employed with the City of Somerville for 14 years, and I am currently in housing inspector and inspectional services. I have been a resident for the city for 40 years. My family has owned our property for 70 years. As a homeowner, a parent of children in the public school system, the substantial increase in our taxes, water bill, and other necessities every year is making it extremely difficult for me and others to make ends meet. Personally speaking, if we didn't have a family home in the city, we wouldn't be able to stay or live here, especially with what we are being paid. Sorry, I lost my thought. We are being underpaid for many years now, and our union, SMEA, have been without a contract for 16 months, which is unacceptable. We feel disrespected daily on our current salaries, especially given what some employees have earned in license, certifications, as well as our workloads. We haven't received a raise in years, and now the city is outsourcing for our union jobs and paying them prevailing wages or even higher. Why can't the SMEA employees be paid their worth? Thank you.
Thank you. I know a number of councillors want to speak. Councillor Klingon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Through you, proud member of NAGE Local 282. I'm on the bargaining committee as we speak with the governor's office. So you're preaching to the choir here. And the reason I even bring up the fact that I'm on that committee is because, you know, what the governor did was recognize just how far behind state workers got, and basically we negotiated through our fighting a 9% increase for a 1-year contract. So that's just to shore us up from inflation. And then now we're in current negotiations for the next 3-year contract. So when we're talking about this wage study, you know, first of all, I don't know if maybe we need a study like done outside of the mayor's office, or, you know, like if the union can pay for their own study, or if the city council through the clerk can commission a study. But we're talking about two different things here. We're talking about a compensation study, then we're talking about raises. The compensation study is just going to bring us to hopefully be competitive with the cities around us. Never mind all the ground that's been lost. So I feel, you know, the compensation study is so far behind that once that money, once those positions become reassessed and brought up to the proper pay scale, at that point then there should be a reflection of this, you know, other the federal government giving the 9%. Many people are recognizing this 9% increase cost of living just how bad inflation was. So you stack all it up, and you know, you can see how much our Somerville workforce is struggling. And these are people that I know that I've done many events, and they're breaking down and 11 o'clock at night. And actually, my niece was one of the librarians at the central office, and she ended up leaving to go to a private situation. So, and she's from a proud union family who, you know, she really didn't want to have to leave the city, but unfortunately she did. So that said, I just, you know, I really hope for me, preaching to the choir, I hope people at home are listening, because we get a lot of constituent complaints, and a lot of people, we have to continually repeat that we have a serious labor shortage in the region. But more importantly, in the city, our retention is really, really bad, and our recruitment is bad because of the low wages that have been demonstrated here tonight. So, you know, this comes as no surprise to me. But I really hope that we can get these workers what they deserve once and for all. You know, bring us up to. I see the mayor's getting a lot of union endorsements, and I hear, you know, and again, I know that. It's been said many times that Somerville, you know, we'd like to be a union town, and that starts right here at home with these workers here. So I support them. So I stand with you all, and I always will. And so thank you for everything that you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor McLaughlin, I believe the entire council would like to sign on to this. Councillor Scott, you wish to speak?
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and thank you to these members for being here. You know, my colleagues, I ask your forbearance for a moment here, because you have been listening to me complain about this problem for 6 full years. You listened to me for a very long time in June on Cut Night, talking about this specific problem. And just as a reminder, the outsourcing costs are 5 times what it would take to pay the salaries in the water and sewer department. We could double the salaries of all of those positions in the water and sewer department and still save the taxpayers money. That was true 6 months ago. It is true now. It has been true for several years. So I'm frustrated. I share the frustration with these union members. You may recall similar fights about the library, Mr. President. The need to maintain our city is something that is corrosive. The lack of maintenance of our city is corrosive to the spirit of the people that live here now. When we do not support our union workers, when we do not maintain the city for the people who live here now, but you see a gleaming Union Square Plaza that's just been built by a massive corporation and there's a giant ribbon-cutting celebration for it, the message is clear that this city does not care about its current residents. This city is being built for the people to come. So I'm at a loss, Mr. President. I'm at a loss because we have called for increases. I have personally tried to reject spending. I personally tried to reject the water and sewer increase. I implored my colleagues to join me in that fight. I don't know of any way the City Council can apply more leverage except for the one power that we have to approve appropriations from the mayor, including the annual budget. I voted against our annual budget, and this is a big part of why. So I'm not sure what else can be done. I'm glad you're going to receive these kind of warm words tonight, but frankly, we don't need. I appreciate the order, and I wholeheartedly agree that we need a timeline for when this study is going to be done. But we don't need a study to know just how bad things are. We don't need a study to know that even a temporary uplift, a one-year uplift, to acknowledge the reality that every other worker in the Commonwealth is facing, much less the lag behind that these folks have had because their contract is so far out and because it was in a bad place to start with. You know, I want to thank, I think it was Mrs. Strella who talked about the difficulty in staying here. And, you know, I believe we have to do this for two giant reasons, one of which is that nobody knows the city and nobody will take care of the city better than the people who live here. And when we contract and outsource this work, we are just flooding the taxpayer money out of the city, as opposed to putting it back in these residents' pockets through living wages, through fair wages. And secondly, it is offensive, frankly, to talk about a future, the community we're building, the community support. And I appreciate the words, and I appreciate my colleagues who have passed ordinances to make this city a more welcoming place for all our residents. But if you have a place where you have to import labor to maintain it, you have to import labor to clean it, to repair the infrastructure, then you're not building a community. You are building a theme park. And I don't want to live in a theme park. I think our city deserves better than that. So thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to you members. I will continue the fight, and I hope that we will answer the call as a city council. Thank you.
All right, colleagues, before we take a quick recess, I just want to say, I think for a lot of residents, this might sound complicated. We just heard a list of all these salaries, there's a compensation study. Let's try to simplify what's going on here. The wages are negotiated between the union and the mayor's office. In this case, that process hasn't even begun yet because the mayor's office is waiting to complete what they call a wage compensation study. All of us are waiting for this document. I would have never in my wildest dreams thought that this would have taken more than a couple months. That was over the summer. At that point, we were already pissed off about this. And now we are months and months later. There are no words. It's an embarrassment to be here tonight, to be honest with you. For us to be sitting here, not even having meaningfully begun those negotiations. So you know, I agree. We're all here to like say words in support and, you know, to take whatever actions we can, but it is just incredibly frustrating that it's got to this point. And so I want to apologize to all of you and to thank you. You know, I've always, you know, walking around the city, you see public workers. For myself, I now see it through the eyes of a 3-year-old. We're just constantly, we're at the library, we're at playgrounds, we're watching the trash trucks go around cleaning up the playgrounds. I was outside tonight watching, you know, the DPW trucks turned into a monster. It is just, it's indescribable how much you guys do for the city, all of you. So thank you. I see a hand. Please.
She's from Traffic Parking, and she just got off work, she got a statement on behalf of Traffic Parking. Would you mind to
Of course.
Thank you.
Welcome, Ms. O'Keefe.
Good evening, everyone. It's so nice to be in the City Council chambers. I've never been here before. My name is Courtney O'Keefe. I am a 43-year resident of the City of Somerville. I've spent my entire life inside this city, and I now get to brag about the fact that I am an employee of this city. I am window number 4. I've been working there since February. I'm a clerk. I help people moving into the city. I help people coming over from a brand new state over to this city to build a home and build a life. I don't do this alone. I have an exceptional team behind me, a team that works behind the scenes for those beautiful summer streets that we have that are set up properly and make sure that no cars interrupt it. Those are the people that do that. Those are the people that keep your parks clean. Those are the people that keep our sidewalks nice and fixed and our trees beautiful. Right now I'm preaching to the choir, and I know that, but I know directly who I have to speak to. And I know we can go through compensation studies, but the one mantra that I've always lived by is that those who are closest to the problem are closest to the solution. Why we have to hire consultants to show them our absolutely laughable pay grades, it's a complete waste of money. You could have just come to the Mount Vernon one night, got a free dinner, and I would have bought you the first round. And you would have learned how all of us, every single one of us, struggle. And I mean struggle to pay our bills, struggle to pay our rent, struggle to stay inside of this city. All the administration had to do was sit down and have a conversation with one of us. And that's all I'm asking the administration to do. It's not about studies, it's not about fancy terms, it's about doing the right thing, and the right thing to do is to pay your workers what they are worth and pay them for how proud they are to do their jobs and how proud they are to do it for the City of Somerville. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.
Councillor Gomez-Malcad.
I just want to ask the mayor to do what my mother always told me, and is take care of those who take care of you. It is time.
Thank you. All right, we're going to stand in recess for 5 minutes.
Somerville stands together. A coalition of local organizations standing together for immigrant rights, quality education, LGBTQIA rights, racial and economic justice, municipal Green New Deal, affordable housing, and workers' rights. Somerville stands together.